Now, agriculture is becoming more profitable. That's according to Audu Ogbeh, Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture. He joined CNBC Africa's Christy at First Bank's Agric Expo for a chat about how Nigeria can do more to boost the agric sector. Take a look.
I know that for nearly 2.5 decades, in the 80s and 90s, the First Bank was actually leading the pack in supporting agricultural credit. They were. In more recent years, I think they've slowed down a bit, possibly because maybe they had some bad experiences, because agriculture wasn't that profitable in the past. The importation was too strong. Yields on the farms were very, very poor. Knowledge, technology, social media didn't play as much a role then as they play now. So farmers didn't even know how to plant their crops. I mean, I give an example of maize. You have a hectare, which is a football field of maize, and you find a farmer here planting his maize at distances of one meter apart. You go to Spain or Iowa or Nebraska or UK, and you find a farmer planting his stands of maize 6 inches apart. So when the farmer here has 8,000 stands of maize per hectare, the man out there has 80,000. So his yield is higher. His seeds are better. He's done a better soil test and better fertilization as a result of the nature of the soil. So we were not yielding much. So it's likely that the First Bank's experience in those 20 or 30 years didn't yield out well. Right now, they are not as much involved as they were. And I believe that this kind of function is an indication of their continued interest in the business.
Mr. Minister, you have said over and over again that it does appear from where you stand that the banks and the farmers speak different languages when it comes to access to finance.
Exactly.
What do you think are essentially the problems?
Well, it's quite simple. First, the interest rates are high. You can't apply any interest rate of 20 or 25% to agriculture. It just won't work. You can't make any profit. Worldwide, the average is about 3.5%. 2, the yields on the farms are low. 3, the importation in the past was too heavy for local agricultural production to survive, and for the local farmer to compete with his counterpart in Western Europe or or China or India. Those factors made it difficult, and so bankers here started withdrawing because it just wasn't working out. That is changing now. Agriculture is becoming more profitable. It's becoming a business rather than a social program of government investment. People are getting more educated. Younger people are coming in with ideas that some of us never had before. So this is the time for banks to take another look. And I'm glad the First Bank is doing so.
In considering the role, the results that may come from public-private partnerships, you've also elaborated at some point on the need for the government to hand-walk its citizens to agricultural prosperity. Could you shed more light on that?
Precisely because if you leave the farmer to the fortunes of the dictates of monetary policy, and if you leave young people to find their way, you leave women and poor people in the rural areas who are the bulk of the farmers we have, to do it their own way without heavy government support, you will perish. Every country in the world has had to give massive support to agriculture. In the United States, in India, in China, in South America, it's been government supporting agriculture because there are so many vagaries in agriculture. The weather, you can't control. Right now we have climate change challenges. Then you have the cost of funding, which is very difficult for farmers to apply to agriculture and make a profit. So the Treasury has to hand-walk beginners, especially young people, into prosperity in agriculture. You just have to. And the question I ask is, when a man marries, right, and runs a family and feeds his wife and children, he doesn't charge them interest rates. It's your duty to feed your wife, feed your children, educate them, house them, and so on. You can't push that too far when it comes to agriculture, but you must help them as far as is humanly possible to provide the food which drives the livelihood of your people. So sitting away and telling people to go and try on their own won't work. And we're not new in the matter. So we must handwork people.
So for you, it's about the government getting in the ring as opposed to
Absolutely,
sitting on the
at every
sidelines
level.
and being policymakers.
Exactly. Apart from designing policies and telling people this is our policy, you've got to take them by the hand. Like I said, you take a toddler, teaching that toddler how to walk. In 2-3 years, the toddler starts running, you'll be the one restraining him. But you have to teach him or her how to walk.
Give us a sense of what to expect in terms of the collaborations that Nigeria is seeking to form with regards to research on seedlings and access to machinery.
On seed alone, you saw the president in Calabar 2 days ago at a program where they were launching the Calabar seed program. We have a huge seed program in the ministry. In fact, we're encouraging them now to go commercial. We've got to have the finest seeds, the finest fertilizer, the most thorough soil testing facilities to know what is missing in the soil. Every soil you see has 17 ingredients. 17. The major ones are the NPK, the nitrogen, the potassium, and the phosphate, right? But there are micronutrients in the soil which help the crop to grow well, to yield well, but to nourish your body and mind. Now, all that kind of work has not been done in the past intensively enough. We're doing that now.
And this is connected to the agreement we signed with China?
Exactly. Part of the agreement with China, part of the research we're doing in our institutes and universities, and part of what the Ministry of Agriculture has to intensify. Do your research so the farmer doesn't have to lose his crops. Intensify irrigation. Let's have fresh maize 3 times a year. Let's have vegetables all year round. Let's have better milk for our children to drink. Let's have better crops so that the body is nourished primarily by the food we eat. And I keep reminding everybody of what a Greek philosopher said once. When a doctor qualifies, he takes what they call the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocrates was a Greek philosopher, a doctor too, who lived in 390 BC. And he made a statement, let your food be your medicine, and let your medicine be your food.
Do farmers take an oath yet?
Exactly.
Do they take an oath? Do you make farmers take an oath?
They don't. But Hippocrates was emphasizing the fact that food is the key to health. If we were to eat well enough, a balanced diet, many of the diseases, especially immune deficiency problems, wouldn't happen to us.
That was Audu Ogbeh, Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture.